Is this thing on? Hello, I am a tall blonde man and welcome to my channel. I have 20 questions for you to get to know me. I picked funny ones because I found them on the internet and let's get started. I have not read these questions before doing this, so sorry for laughing while reading the question if they are hilarious. What is the funniest name you have actually heard used in the real world? Baby girl. Baby girl, one word. It was a girl in my high school. I saw it in the yearbook. And yeah. What is the sexiest name and least sexy name that you can think of? I would say the sexiest name is like a Blake or like a Chase. And then I would say the least sexy name is like a Bernardo or yeah, I would just go with Bernardo. Let's go with that. What sport would be the funniest to add a mandatory amount of alcohol to? But I would say, I guess swimming. I know it's like all of them would be funny, but swimming I did, and I just know that how technical you have to be in the water, and you have to be so straight, like when you're swimming. So everyone would just be running into the lanes the whole time, and because it's timed and supposed to be like super high intensity, it would be funny to see everyone just kind of crashing everywhere. What movie would be greatly improved if it were made into a musical? I would think a movie that could be improved, I guess, I mean, not really improved because I like the movies, but like the Mission Impossible movies, they are so dramatic that I think making them into a musical, it would just be a whole musical of dramatic ballads about and suspense. So I think it could be good. I'm gonna write it, watch out. If your 5-year-old self suddenly found themselves inhabiting your current body, what would your 5-year-old self do first? I would say just like look down and shriek. And just gonna be like, where did that come from? I'd also be like, wow, I'm high up, because when I was 5, I think I must have been only like 3 feet tall, right? Yeah, so, and now I'm 6'5". So I've just doubled in size, and the whole world I look down on now, whereas before I just looked up on it. What is something that everyone looks stupid doing? I would say like no matter what, if you're eating a banana, you can't help but look funny. And everyone's gonna stare at you to see how far you go down the banana before you bite it. Well, what is something that is really popular now, but in 5 years everyone will look back on and be embarrassed by? I would say that everyone would be embarrassed looking back on the ripped clothing trend. I think that like selling shirts with holes all over it, I never bought anything, but a lot of people picked up on the trend, and yes, it looks very urban, which is nice, but I don't think everyone in the future is gonna be like, wow, we didn't go for well-made stuff, we went for stuff that was torn. But I do think that trend would come back in like, you know, a few decades. What would be the hat to end all hats? What could you wear on your head that would make people stop what they're doing and stare in awe and amazement? I think just like the most dramatic hat you can think of. Like, take every hat that's been inspired by the horse races and any hat the Queen has worn, and just like times it by 10. Just make it so big that people, when they look at it, are like, how is that able to stay on her neck or his neck without like a strap? If animals could talk, which would be the rudest? Definitely horses, just because like people are always on their back and using them to do work, and I feel like horses, just like humans, I mean, work is cool, but not well, like against your will. I think they would just have this like centuries of bitterness towards the human race that I don't think would go over well if they started speaking. In 40 years, what will people be nostalgic for? I think people will listen to like Dua Lipa and be like, oh, I love the teens of 2000. Such great pop music. What inanimate object do you wish you could eliminate from existence? I guess object, inanimate. ugly decor. Like decor, you're just like, how, like, what were they thinking when they bought that? What are some things that are okay to occasionally, but definitely not okay to do every day? Things to do occasionally would be like raising your voice, because you sometimes just have to raise your voice to be heard in a crowd, even if you're like at the bar, but not every day, because you don't need to make everybody else stress by raising your voice. Learn to speak without emotion. That's my tidbit in all these questions to anybody listening. What is the weirdest thing you have seen in someone else's home? I would say it wasn't like the weirdest, because I liked it and it fit that person's aura. But they, like one person's apartment, they were like my best friends, still are my best friends, but they have a stuffed mouse, and there's a few like inanimate art pieces around the apartment. Mannequins is like decor too, so if you're kind of getting the feel for what I'm going with. So it's like, it's good, but it is definitely weird and was something I've never seen before, but not to say I didn't like it. Who do you know that really reminds you of a character in a TV show or movie? One person on my team at work kind of reminds me of the girl who plays Handmaid, is the lead actress in Handmaid's Tale. Oh, and my mom, everyone says looks like Cameron Diaz. So yeah, I mean, she reminds me of Cameron Diaz every day, especially like if she has like a certain look that she's doing that I'm like, oh my gosh, Cameron Diaz had that look in that movie. Bam. What would be the coolest animal to scale up to the size of a horse? Back to the horse stuff. I think it'd be really cool to have like a bunny the size of a horse that I would just like want to cuddle it and ride it forever. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever worn? I would say that just looking at any photos of me, like, I want to say like junior, senior year, like, I mean, I had like a good look, I think, just like hoodie and jeans, but just some of the stuff that I put together, like brown hoodie, mint green shirt, blue jeans with like black shoes. I mean, I didn't have as much money to spend on clothes, so I don't blame myself, but I don't prefer to look at those. I'm not inspired today by my fashion choices then. What part of a kid's movie completely scared you? I know a lot of people say like that we are Siamese from that one Disney movie, but that actually didn't scare me because we had Siamese cats growing up. I'd say I think something that scared me would be, oh, there are so many things. Oh, what's the movie about the evil Furbies? Evil Furby, what is it called? They're like come around Christmas time. You spill water on them and they like multiply. Comment below if you can know the movie that I'm thinking of, because I am not gonna remember, and it always bugs me when I can't remember things. What used to be considered trashy but now is very classy? I'd say torn clothing, just as I mentioned earlier. That was considered trashy, and now it's, I think, just like a slightly trashy look. What was considered trashy back in the day, like mesh, dark lipstick, now is becoming more of like a fashion style, which if done well, like looks pretty good in my mind. So that is 20 questions about me. I'm gonna be making videos every week and hopefully launching them on Fridays, but stay tuned because I actually might do some more than just, you know, your typical Friday, but we'll see. Thanks for tuning in, and come on back now, you hear?